All right, so you want to get that mental game strong, right? Well, today we're going to dive deep into 13 things mentally strong people don't do.
And you don't even have to read the book, right?
We're giving you all the good stuff, without having to read the whole thing because, those self-help books, they can be kind of...
They can be a little on the surface sometimes, right?
Exactly. And we're going beyond the surface today.
That's right. We're going to unpack some of these really deep ideas.
Yes. And Amy Morin, the author, she uses all these like real life stories. And I gotta say, reading through these, I was like, oh, she's calling me out.
Yeah.
You know? Like 13 of these habits that secretly sabotage our mental strength.
I think we all probably have some of these habits,
Okay,
right?
totally.
It's the things that we do kind of subconsciously that really hold us back.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And you know what's interesting? Just jumping right into the first one. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. This isn't about toxic positivity. This is about like really taking control of your mindset. And she uses this example of Marla Runyon.
Okay, tell me about Marla Runyon because, yeah, this is where the story is just like, bring it to life.
She was a Paralympic runner who was legally blind.
Wow, okay.
But instead of letting that define her, she focused on what she could control. She couldn't control her eyesight,
Right.
but she could control her training, her mindset.
It's so easy to get stuck in like, the woe is me, and she totally flipped the script.
Absolutely. And the research actually backs this up.
Oh, is there? Like, what do you mean?
Well, there are studies that show like focusing on gratitude can actually have a real impact on our physical health. Like people who consciously practice gratitude tend to have stronger immune systems, lower stress levels, they even sleep better.
Whoa. Okay, so it's like mind-body connection for real.
It's not just some woo-woo thing, right?
Yeah.
It actually has like measurable impacts.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so that first one is like a good kick in the butt. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. What's the next thing?
Don't give away your power.
Ooh, that one's a big one.
Yeah, and I think, a really powerful example here is Oprah Winfrey, right? Like, talk about overcoming obstacles.
Oh my gosh, Oprah is like the queen of this, like
Yeah.
from her background to, everything she's achieved.
Exactly. And what's interesting about her story is that giving away your power isn't always like this overt thing where someone is controlling you. It could be about letting past hurts and resentments, like,
Right.
dictate your present.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, holding on to anger.
Yes.
It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die,
Yeah.
right?
It's so true. And I think especially today with social media, it's so easy to get caught up in that like comparison, the resentment, oh, they have this and I don't.
Totally. And that's why forgiveness is so important. Not condoning what happened,
Right, right.
but choosing to release the emotional hold that it has on you, because that frees up so much energy to focus on building a life that you love, right?
Okay, so we've got to let go of the past, let go of the anger, the resentment.
That's the key.
Okay, what's number 3?
Don't shy away from change,
Oh, that's a tough one.
especially these days, right? There's a lot of change happening in the world. But Marin uses this incredible example of Judge Greg Mathis.
Okay, I don't know who he is. Tell me about him.
He was like in and out of jail as a youth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he ends up becoming this like well-respected judge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a turnaround story.
Total turnaround.
Okay.
And she talks about like these 5 stages of change: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and then maintenance.
Oh, there's maintenance. Okay, hold on. Break that down for me. I get like pre-contemplation, like, maybe you're in denial, you're not even thinking about it. And then, the contemplation, you're thinking about it. Preparations is like, okay, I'm going to do this, but what is this maintenance part?
That's where most people, they stumble. It's like going to the gym once and expecting 6-pack abs, right?
Right.
Real change, whether it's internal or external, it requires like consistent effort.
Okay, so you don't just change and then that's it. It's like you got to keep working on it.
You got to keep showing up.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So you can't just rest on your laurels once you've made the change.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good one. Don't shy away from change.
Yeah.
What's next? What's number 4?
Don't focus on things you can't control.
Oh, okay. Another tough one, right?
Yeah, especially in today's world where it seems like things are like so chaotic. She has this incredible story about Terry Fox in the book. Have you heard of him?
No, tell me about him.
So Terry, he lost his leg to cancer.
Oh my God.
But instead of letting that, define him, he ran across Canada.
What?
Yeah, with a prosthetic leg to raise money for cancer research.
Wow, that's incredible.
Incredible. And, it really highlights that We always have a choice in how we respond to what life throws at us.
Okay, so he's like completely embodying this. He could have just been completely focused on what he lost, but instead he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something with this. Okay, that's really inspiring. And I feel like this one, like, especially in today's world, there's so much that's out of our control. It's a good reminder to focus on what you can.
Exactly.
Like, what can we actually do something about? Okay, all right, what's next?
Don't worry about pleasing everyone.
Oh, I need to write that down.
Yeah.
Big one, big one.
Right. This is a big one for a lot of us.
Yeah.
She has this example in the book about a woman named Angela who basically, like, morphed her personality to fit in with whoever she was dating.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like a chameleon, right?
Yeah.
Trying to please everybody.
And what happened? Like, how'd that work out for her?
Well, she ended up feeling totally lost and unfulfilled.
Because she wasn't being her authentic self, right?
Exactly. She was so busy trying to be what everyone else wanted her to be
Yeah.
that she lost sight of who she really was.
It's so easy to fall into that trap, though, you know? Like wanting to be liked, wanting to fit
It's
in.
especially in the age of social media, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Where everything's so curated and perfect and everyone's like trying to present their best selves, you know, which is not always their real selves.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So how do we like break free from that need to please everyone?
Well, it's about recognizing that not everyone has to like you, and that's okay. In fact, it's impossible to please everyone, so you might as well be yourself.
Right? So true. It's like that saying, you can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and someone's still not going to like peaches.
Exactly.
That's such a good analogy. Okay, so we've got to let go of that need to please everyone. What's next?
Don't be afraid to take calculated risks.
Ooh, calculated being the operative word here.
Exactly. And she uses this great example of the psychologist, Albert Ellis. He was terrified of talking to women.
Oh, wow. Well,
And so he decided to face his fear head on.
how did he do that?
He would go to this botanical garden every day
Okay.
and sit next to a different woman and just start talking to them.
Oh my God, I could not, like, I would just want to, like, crawl under a bush.
It's pushing past that comfort zone.
Yay!
And he did it. And, not all of his conversations were great, but that wasn't really the point.
Right, it was about facing that fear.
Exactly.
Okay, so sometimes you got to just jump in.
Sometimes you got to jump in.
Okay, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, what's number 7?
Don't dwell on the past,
Ooh, yeah. Another one that I think we can all relate to.
especially if you've had, some challenges in your life. But Morin tells this incredible story of Winona Ward, who had, like, a really, really rough upbringing.
Okay.
And despite all of those challenges, she dedicated her career to helping families facing abuse.
Oh, wow.
Talk about turning adversity into purpose.
Yeah, like instead of letting it completely define her and make her bitter or whatever, she was like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it to help others.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so don't dwell on the past. Let's see, what's number 8?
Don't make the same mistakes over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Or something like that?
Right.
Like, you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Exactly. And in the book, she uses the example of Roland Macy.
As in Macy's, the department store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know his first store was a complete failure?
No. Really? I had no idea.
It flopped.
Okay, well, what happened? Like, how did he go from failure to, like, this iconic department store?
He didn't give up. He learned from his mistakes.
Okay, so he didn't let that first failure, like, completely derail him.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really good. All right, what's next?
Don't resent other people's success.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is. And it's easier said than done, right? Especially, again, in the age of social media when you're constantly bombarded with everyone else's highlight reel. But she uses this great example of Milton Hershey.
Oh, like Hershey's chocolate?
Yeah, Hershey's chocolate.
Okay.
And his former employee, H.B. Reese.
Wait, as in Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yes. They're competitors.
What? I had no idea.
But instead of resenting Reese's success, Hershey actually supported him. He even provided Reese with the chocolate for his peanut butter cups.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Okay.
They eventually even merged.
Wow. Okay, so it's like their success wasn't a threat to each other. It was like they were both able to succeed.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that there's room for everyone, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Okay, what's the next one?
Don't give up after the first failure.
Ooh, that's a classic.
It is a classic for a reason.
And who better to illustrate this point than Thomas Edison?
Right. I mean, he's like the poster child for persistence.
Yeah.
He famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
So good.
Right. Like, imagine if he had given up after the first 1,000 tries.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
even the first 100 tries. The world would be a very different place.
Yeah, he would have been like, okay, well, I guess that's it. I'm done.
Right, exactly.
Don't give up. Persistence is key. Okay, what's the next one?
Don't be afraid of alone time.
Ooh, okay. I struggle with this one. Like, I always feel like I need to have something on in the background.
I get it. It's like we're so used to constant stimulation.
Yeah, if it's not the TV, it's music or a podcast or like something.
Right. But quiet time is so important for our mental health.
It is. Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, studies have shown that even just a few minutes of quiet time each day can help reduce anxiety, boost creativity. It can even help you sleep better.
Really? Okay.
It's about giving your brain a break from all that stimulation, a chance to just like be.
Huh. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So, like, even if I just like sit outside for a few minutes.
Exactly. Or meditate.
Yeah, meditate. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Uh,
Okay, don't be afraid of alone time. All right, what's next?
Don't feel the world owes you anything.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Entitlement can be a real barrier to growth, right?
Yeah, it's like if you walk around with this sense of like, I deserve this or this should be given to me, you're not gonna, work as hard or appreciate what you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, it can manifest in so many ways. It's not just about, like, material possessions. It's about that sense of, like, the world should be fair, or I should get what I want when I want it.
Right, right. It's about having a realistic perspective.
Exactly. And I think a great example of someone who embodies the opposite of entitlement is Sarah Robinson.
Okay, tell me about her.
So she was battling a brain tumor.
Oh, wow.
But while she was going through treatment, she founded a house for cancer patients to stay in while they were receiving treatment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Talk about taking something incredibly difficult and using it to make a difference for others.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible. Okay, so instead of feeling sorry for herself or thinking, why me? She was like, how can I use this experience to help others?
Exactly.
Wow, that's really powerful. Okay, so we've got to ditch the entitlement. What's the next point?
Don't expect immediate results.
Oh my gosh, that is so me. Like instant gratification, right?
Yeah. Instant gratification. We live in a world of instant downloads, next day delivery. We want everything now.
Yeah.
But real growth takes time, right?
It does. It does. And it's so easy to get discouraged when we don't see those results like right away.
And that's where so many people give up. Morin cites this study about New Year's resolutions. 25% of people give up on their resolutions after just 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess I can see that. It's like we set these really ambitious goals, and then when we don't achieve them overnight, we're like, well, I guess I'm just a failure. I might as well give up.
Exactly. But it's about shifting our focus from the end goal to the process itself, right?
Okay.
It's about like finding joy in the journey, celebrating those small victories along the way.
Okay. So like instead of being like, I'll be happy when, it's like, I'm happy now and I'm grateful for the progress I'm making.
Exactly. It's a subtle but powerful shift in mindset.
Okay. So we've got to be patient. Be patient with ourselves and be patient with the process.
Absolutely. And remember, progress is not always linear. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be detours along the way.
That's a good point. It's not always going to be a straight line to success.
Exactly. But it's about embracing those challenges as opportunities for growth, as part of the journey.
Okay, I like that. Embrace the detours, embrace the challenges. What's the last one? Give it to me. Number 13.
All right, here it is. Don't expect life to be fair.
Oh, okay. So like, accept that sometimes life is just going to throw you curveballs?
Exactly. And sometimes, bad things happen to good people.
Right. It's not always going to make sense.
Exactly. And that's okay. It's about not getting stuck in that why me mentality, and instead focusing on what we can control.
So even when things feel unfair, we can still choose how we respond.
Exactly. We can choose to let it break us, or we can choose to grow from it.
Wow. Okay, that is deep. All right, so there you have it, folks. 13 things mentally strong people don't do. Wow, I'm kind of exhausted just thinking about all of those.
I know, right? It's a lot.
13 things.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah, but I feel like we need like a whole other deep dive to like unpack all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend hours on each one of these points. Right?
Totally.
But I think what's so helpful about Morin's approach is that she gives us these real-life examples. It's one thing to like read a list of don'ts,
Right.
But when you see how these habits actually play out in real people's lives, it's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Right. It makes it so much more relatable.
Totally. Like, we all know we're not supposed to dwell on the past.
Right.
But then you hear a story like Winona Ward's, and you're like, okay, that's what resilience looks like in action.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not just this, like, abstract concept. It's
Exactly.
something that people actually do. So, okay, if we're gonna, like, zoom out a little bit and think about this idea of mental strength, it's not about being, like, this superhuman who never, like, experiences negative emotions, really.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It's about, like, what is it? Like, how would you define it?
It's about building that resilience so that when those inevitable challenges come up, you have the tools to navigate them.
Okay, so it's like equipping yourself
Yeah,
to
exactly.
deal with whatever life throws your way
Because it's going to throw some stuff your way.
oh, it's going to throw curveballs left and right.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a good way to think about it. So how do we actually build that resilience, that mental strength? Because I think one of the things that really struck me reading through the book is that it's not just like this thing that some people are born with, It's
Right.
not like some people are just like naturally mentally strong and other people aren't.
It's a skill.
Okay.
It's something that you can develop and cultivate through practice,
Yeah.
just like anything else.
Oh, okay, so that's actually really empowering.
Right.
Because it means that, like, even if I'm not feeling super mentally strong right now, it's like there are things that I can do
Exactly.
to get there.
It's like building a muscle.
Okay.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Right.
Yeah, because you wouldn't, like, go to the gym once and be like, okay, I'm done. I have muscles now.
Right. Exactly. You have to keep going back.
You gotta keep showing up.
And it's going to be hard sometimes.
Oh,
There are going to be
yeah.
days when you don't want to do it.
Totally.
But the key is to just keep showing up.
Okay, so consistency is key.
Consistency is key. And, it's okay to not be perfect.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to get it right all the time.
Oh, good.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Okay, I like that.
So give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Celebrate those small victories because they all add up.
Okay, so even just, like, small changes can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that a lot. So we're building that mental muscle.
We're building that muscle.
Yeah.
And you know what? As you start to build that mental muscle,
Yeah.
you might notice that it starts to have this ripple effect on other areas of your life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, tell me more about that.
So let's say you're working on not giving away your power. You start setting some healthier boundaries in your relationships.
Okay.
Maybe you're a little bit more assertive at work,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly you're like, wait a minute, I feel more confident in all these other areas of my life too.
Wow, so it's like, it's not just contained to that one area where you're working on it.
Exactly.
It kind of like spills over
It spills over.
into other parts of your life. Wow, that's so cool.
And you start creating this life that feels more aligned
Okay.
with your values, with your goals.
Okay, I'm into it. Like, sign me up. So where do we start? If we're listening to this and we're like, okay, I'm on board. I want to build that mental muscle. Like, what's the first step?
You don't have to tackle all 13 things at once.
Okay, good.
Right.
Okay.
Start small.
Okay.
Pick one or two
Okay.
that really resonate with you
Okay.
and focus on those.
Okay, so maybe pick one or two
Exactly.
and really, like, dive deep into those.
Yes.
Okay.
And think about, like, what's one small change you could make today?
Okay.
Even just a tiny little tweak to your routine or to your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That would move you just a little bit closer to building that mental muscle.
It's amazing how much we've unpacked just from this one book.
Right. And we just, like, scratched the surface.
Totally. And I'm already feeling, like, more aware, I guess, of some of those self-sabotaging habits that I've just kind of been doing on autopilot,
Yes. And that's the first step, right?
Okay, good.
That awareness, that's where the real change begins. It's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Okay, that's a good point.
And then you can start to make different choices.
So it's like that saying, consciousness is the first step to recovery.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Exactly. And I think, what's so inspiring about this whole idea of mental strength is that it's not about becoming some, like, unbreakable superhero. It's not about never experiencing hardship or setbacks.
Right, it's not about being perfect.
Exactly. It's about building that inner resilience so that when those challenges inevitably arise, and they will arise,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
we have the tools to navigate them. We have that inner compass to guide us through those storms.
Ooh, I like that inner compass.
Right. So even when things feel chaotic, you have that sense of, okay, I got this. Or even if you don't have it completely figured out, you have that trust that you'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah. It's like trusting the process, even when it's messy.
Exactly. Because life is messy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not always going to be pretty or perfect or easy.
So true.
But we can choose to approach it all with this sense of strength and resilience and curiosity.
Okay, I like that. So, as we're wrapping up our deep dive into these 13 things mentally strong people don't do, I'm curious what's resonating with you, listener? Like, what's that one thing that you're going to take away from this conversation?
Yeah, maybe jot down a couple of the points that really stood out to you
Yeah.
and just like sit with those for a little bit and see how those principles might apply to your own life.
Okay, that's a good action step.
Because it's one thing to like listen to this and be like, oh, that's interesting, but it's another thing to actually like implement it, right?
Totally. Like, knowledge is power, but only if we actually do something with it.
Exactly. So if you're ready to level up that mental game, choose one small thing and take action today. Because every step, no matter how small, it moves you closer to creating a life that you love, a life that feels aligned and authentic and full of joy, even amidst the messiness.
I love that. So good. All right, well, that's a wrap on our deep dive into 13 things mentally strong people don't do. It's been so great chatting with you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep building that mental strength.